Hey everyone! Okay, so I know you've been missing our little chats. Finally, we have been reunited, and we're going to be talking about a billion things. But first of all, one thing that really pissed me off, and I think you too, a tweet I sent out a few weeks ago. These gay guys made a video saying why you shouldn't have kids. And this wasn't just one video though. For some reason that week there was tons of articles from like The Guardian, and it's like it's not lucrative financially, like you're supposed to even consider that. It's about family, but just all of this like bombardment of articles on do not have kids, do not have a family, live selfishly. And I was like, wow, it's like totally cool to not have kids, not pass down your bloodline or your ideals and just be selfish. But people got really mad. Lauren, I can't believe you would say this. Like, don't you understand how hard it is to have kids these days? The world is overpopulated. You probably read a lot of them, so I want to get your opinion
I did.
on
Well,
the
actually,
outrage.
I watched this video, and when I was watching it, because you sent me a picture, a screenshot of it, and you were like, look at this video, this is stuff we talk about. And I was like, I thought the exact thing when I watched it, because I'd watched it a few hours earlier. And I think it's funny. When you look at all the reasons why people don't want to have kids, they're always very selfish. It's like, you lose sleep. You know, it's very expensive. And a lot of the responses to you were the same thing. Or I think the excuse, like, we need to preserve the planet, it's overpopulated, is just something people fall back on because they don't want to have kids and they want to justify that.
Exactly. And I would say to prove that, you had Emmanuel Macron come out and say that Africa's problems were caused by them having too many kids. Which, fair enough, like 8, 9 kids when you can't afford, like genuinely can't afford to take care of them, send them all to school, feed them. That's a big problem. And there was outrage over him saying that. They were like, how dare you say that? That's racist. You're trying to call the country, all of this. But if you say it for Western nations where even very, very poor people can genuinely afford to have kids and send them to school and feed them, suddenly that's A-okay. So it's like a weird politically correct thing to say Westerners who do have the resources to have kids shouldn't have them, whereas people who don't really have those resources, go ahead, just have tons and tons of kids.
I don't think that most people completely prepare for when they're supposed to have kids and how many, and like dole out the amount of money they need for them, all these things. I think people have a perception that you need too much to give to your kids. You don't. I mean, obviously you need enough to pay for education, like food, these kinds of things, but I think they're blowing it out of proportion. Do you even in this day and age, though?
Like, I went to...
public school's free. Yeah, you don't have to pay for school. That's a
I mean,
huge thing.
not gonna lie, public school is not that great, especially with the indoctrination. I want to look into homeschooling when I do have children. But this idea that you need to even pay for university. Like, I worked my butt off to go to university. And honestly, I'm happy that I did that. I've been working since I was 13 years old. I worked at a kitchen washing dishes. And it wasn't easy. After school, I had to go to my job, and while the other kids would go out and party or whatever, and I'd be washing their dishes, taking their order for fries or whatever eventually. But that helped me move up. I got a cool job working at a video game store when I got later in high school. And I learned way more about applying for jobs, how to get them, and it was a great experience.
It builds character. There's a lot. There comes a point where kids can do a lot for themselves. You just have to say that you should do this. You should pay for your college. Get a job when you're 15 or 16, whenever the legal age is, and start saving up. Teach them these life skills. It'll be good for them. If you just hand everything to them, and this seems like the attitude that these people have, if they need to have so much money in order to take care of their kids, then they're probably not going to turn out as great, because they're going to take everything for granted and expect it. And we know we have like a severe entitlement culture right now, so it is a problem. But I just thought it was interesting, many of the reasons why people don't want to have kids, and it is a personal choice. No one's like, you need to have kids or else.
That was a big misconception towards my tweet. They're like, not everyone wants to have kids, Lauren. Some people can't have them. Some people like never fall in love. And I'm like, I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about the people who have been genuinely like shamed for wanting to have kids, told that's like too conservative and traditional and stuffy.
My mom was legitimately shamed for.
I believe it.
And when she had 4, she has 8. There's 8 kids in my family now, but when she had 4. She started to get shamed. It's like, really, it's not that many. It's not. And for all the people that don't have kids, I think it balances out.
And you turned out fine, I think.
Yeah, well, no, we'll see about that. But the good thing is, I think with a lot of kids, is you don't pay too much attention to every kid, you know, and spoil. When you have 1 or 2, obviously it can be a wonderful thing. But for me personally, it was not too much attention to all of us and kind of
and also
spoiling
kids,
us.
especially when there's older siblings and stuff,
Yeah.
they help each other and you help learn from each other. I looked up to my sister a lot growing up, and we still get along really, really well. And she taught me a lot about video editing as well, because she was way better at me than when I was younger. So you learn a lot from your siblings as well. It's a great experience for people who don't have siblings. Like, some people have great single child families as well. But overall, I think my point was, in that tweet, is family is a beautiful thing and a significant thing. People thousands and thousands of years ago literally fought, bled, died, gave all of their knowledge to their children in hopes that you would one day exist. And you're just going to throw that away because you'd rather do cocaine and like sleep around and party for the rest of your life. Really? You want to throw away that line that so many people historically have created you with, and your family line, and your heritage, and the ideas that have been passed, your language, your culture. These things are so important. And at the end of your life, you may be able to party now in your 20s, even your 30s, late 30s, 40s, party, have fun, but when you get weaker and beauty fades and all these things go away and it's harder to have flings and Tinder relationships, when you're on your deathbed, the people that are there are your family. And I'm not even just saying like blood family, like your spouse and then the family you create with them.
Exactly.
And that's something that's beautiful and is there for you on your deathbed, that next generation that has been created. And I think that brings a lot of people comfort and meaning and purpose towards the end of their life.
There's so many positive things about family. And it's like, when you take care of someone and then they take care of you, when you get older, you'll have that support there. You won't be alone in a nursing home or whatever without any love. And I just feel like that'd be really horrible. You also get to see, you give your parents grandkids, you know, it's be a wonderful thing. I think it also, when we focus too much on ourselves and only taking care of ourselves, we can become more selfish and self-centered. When you have other people to take responsibility for, it makes you a much more giving, kind person that that you can nurture. I find that, even I've mentioned before, getting a dog helped me do that. And I think when I finally have kids, which I'm so excited for, it'll definitely make me a better person and less self-centered.
It's part of a complete life too. We've got this really stupid idea, this crazy idea that a complete life is just being as happy and indulging in the passions as much as possible. But the only reason, the best hot showers I've ever had have been after I've left a snowy cold day or been in the rain and I've soaked and pulling off that cold wet clothes, shivering, and I get in the shower and it's the most beautiful, wonderful thing ever. They say that you can only experience things that are truly beautiful and truly lovely and truly good once you've have dark things to contrast them with. It's that yin and yang of life. You have to know what is bad to know what is good. And you have to struggle for the best things, the best relationships, the best friendships. They take work, they take effort. It's not always easy to do it, but it's a beautiful thing in the end. And these ups and downs in life, these struggles, these experiences are something that make it complete. And we think it's stupid to look at that traditional life of graduate, get married, have the white picket fence and the family. We think that's like so basic and lame. But those are like amazing and terrific ups and downs and crazy experiences that are really close to you. They may not be as crazy as getting 1 million likes on Instagram, which is really just superficial, you staring down at your phone and emptiness. Like, I know the life of an internet celebrity, it's literally just like... so.
And sacrifice, when people look at kids, oh, it's so hard, they're always there, they're crying, you lose sleep, you know, all these reasons that they're very selfish, just all the ones that people put forth for the reason as to not have kids. Maybe it's not the best way to put it, but it is something that, you know, procreation, then you invest so much into a human being, and then they can turn out to be something really wonderful, and you'll see, oh, I was a part of that, like I'm responsible for this. And you could be so, I think it'd be amazing to like watch kids grow, that you passed on your beliefs to your culture, your traditions. I think it'd be amazing, and it'd be really lonely to be without that.
Right now, like, birth rates in the West, when you don't include the new mass migration waves, are low. They're like negative. It's like people are having like 1.5 kids.
It's like the average.
the average, it's below. And that's something, like, people are freaking out. The world's overpopulated. Okay, well, then let Macron talk about Africa then, guys. Like, come on. Or also... just another fact that a lot of people don't acknowledge, like, everyone could live, the entire Earth's population could comfortably live in Texas with quite a lot of land. Just to put things into perspective, I understand people are talking about environmental
like
aspects and everything, resources,
yeah.
but on that end, then you want more Western kids in a sense, because those are the ones that are putting the most into trying to create environmentally friendly solutions and regulations on that kind of stuff. Like all of the oil and gas, all of the more ethical companies that actually have scientists that are looking into making less greenhouse gases are in like America, Canada, and Europe, whereas you like obviously Saudi oil, Malaysia oil, all of these ones that are literally like slave labor style things. So if people want a more ethical world, well, Western children that have Western ideals and are going to be raised in that kind of culture, you should want more of those. Yeah. So I do not buy this idea of overpopulation. It's going to destroy everything.
No, the argument it deflates the minute you challenge it in the slightest. So it's ridiculous to in any way say that it's a negative thing for people to be having kids. It's more like this is a really positive thing. It should be celebrated. We want to continue our existence, don't we?
And maybe it's not for everyone. That is something I think we would both concede. Maybe it's not for everyone. Some people like could hate kids, and of course there's obviously unfortunate situations where women can't have kids and where there's adoption that can be a part. And that's why I don't just say your bloodline, but your ideals, the things you love, like teaching different artistic styles that you like to do with your kid, growing with them, teaching them, learning beautiful things that you know, like that is a huge part of it as well, those ideals. I had such a wonderful childhood. I cannot think of like a better thing than family. I used to come home from school and my parents would kidnap my stuffies and hide them in the forest and make me solve a little treasure hunt to go and save them, because I loved Indiana Jones and stuff, and like I can't wait to do that stuff with my kids. I cannot wait. Anyways, I think we could go on forever. It is a beautiful thing, and it may not be for everyone, but this whole pressure in our current culture to not have kids, I think, is going to make a lot of lonely and unfulfilled people, unfortunately.
Because a lot of people do listen.
Well, a lot of people do listen, and they're looking for guidance, and they're looking at the mainstream, who they don't always realize has an agenda, and they don't always realize are pushing certain political philosophies and not always the best advice for the individual, which can turn into a really sad situation. And millennials are going to be an experiment generation of, I think, increasingly lonely people because of the separation of the gender, the separation of family, the disdain towards children. And I feel really bad because they're playing with people's lives when they talk about these philosophies and when they push them on the general populace. Let's try to end on a happy note. I'm so sad now.
We play the sad romance song in the background.
I've just taken myself on a roller coaster of, I had a wonderful childhood, so sad people. Anyways, we really appreciate you guys watching this video. Let us know what you think about children. What do you think about this propaganda and everything going on right now in our popular culture? And of course, be sure to hit like and subscribe. We will see you next time.
Bye.